Well, greetings to all my friends around the world. Thank you for joining us here. I'm here in the little Manila studio, and just in case you're wondering, no, there is no Kalapa House in the Philippines. The Kalapa House it's an idea. It's a concept. It's not a foundation. It's not a corporation. It's not anything except an idea that is being branded for the purpose of educating people around the world. And that's going to be in another segment here on the Kalapa or Stephen Jenkins TV or the Kalapa TV channel here on YouTube, Health in Hawaii. You're going to learn a lot about the Kalapa House vision as time goes on. But today, I want to tell you about parasites, because this is going to be about health. A lot of these programs here on YouTube or on our channel here are going to be about health. So one of the epidemics in the world is parasites, and I happen to have quite a bit of experience in this because I ran a natural healing health center, is what a lot of people called it, a health ranch. It's a lifestyle center there in California. It operated for quite some time. Actually, if you want to consider or count in my family, my parents and my grandparents, we're talking clear back 100 years ago. My father was born in 1905. My grandfather, Clark Jenkins, worked with John Harvey Kellogg, and he was known as a kind of a natural healing person, but he ran a major sanitarium hospital back in Michigan. He was into hydrotherapy and natural remedies. Now, he got off track into pantheism and things like that, which I do not adhere to or believe in. But the natural remedies, hydrotherapy, and knowing and understanding how to rid your body of parasites. Now, what are parasites? I'm going to slip over here to the video screen for a minute and just let's pull it up. Okay, look, Google. If you look right here at Google, you're going to see, if you just type in the words parasite, you're going to get all of this stuff. I mean, amazing stuff. Parasites, flukes, the internet is full of it. There is no question that parasites exist. I mean, that's not a question. There's no question that practically everybody has them, different kinds. Our body just needs to stay in balance, to stay in check, to where we're managing and keeping the propagation or the population of those parasites at a minimum, at a level that is not going to take over our body. They like to eat too, and they defecate, and so they're eating the nutrients that we would otherwise get, and they're defecating either in our bloodstreams, our intestines, and sometimes even getting up into our brain, and that's not good. So let's sit back down here, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the products that are used. Now, when I say product, I'm talking about something in nature, something that is readily available in nature. Now, some of the popular foods, I mean, we can talk about pumpkin seeds, for example, but that's a very mild method of killing parasites. I want you to YouTube these, Google these, start researching them on your own. Okay, of course there's chemical parasite formulas, antibiotics, and things that a pharmacy would give you, but I'm talking about natural. So let's go down the list. I don't have any paper or any notes in front of me, but let's just start with pumpkin seeds, okay? But let's also talk about some of the things like MMS, Miracle Mineral Solution, sodium chloride, which is an amazing thing. If you add an acid, lemon juice or citric acid with that, you can create something that creates there is an oxygen reaction. And I want you to study aerobic and anaerobic bugs or little critters that are in the environment, so you know which ones thrive on oxygen and which ones don't thrive on oxygen. And the ones that are in your body hurting you do not like an oxygen-rich environment. When they're exposed to the atmosphere, they die very quickly. When you have the right amount of oxygen getting in your blood from exercise and different things, they don't do well. So that sodium chloride with citric acid or lemon juice combination, study that out. The FDA is horribly against it. They created this scare all throughout the internet and throughout the general public to where it is something dangerous. Okay, let me put on record here. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you advice. What I'm telling you is what I personally would do and what others have done around the world to help themselves have a more productive life. It's not like, it's not about making a super long life necessarily. I mean, that's great, but it's about the quality of life if you're healthy, if you're feeling good, and if you're not sick. That's what it's about. So, sodium chloride. Now, we can talk about these little zappers. You can actually use electricity and put little pads with electricity on your veins, and your blood is pumping that. I mean, your heart is pumping your blood in a circle, so it's revolving around through your body. And if you have electrical field, a zap, it's called zapper. Study that on the internet. These things have been around for so long. My grandfather used some of these methods clear back, even electrical pulses and the zappers, clear back, well, way before I was born in the 60s. Certainly back in the 1940s and 50s, he was using these techniques. So he talks about tapeworms 60 feet long coming out of people. So we're talking about 60 feet, guys. Okay, how long is 60 feet? It's a long distance. We're talking about, you know, a sprinting distance where you could run. That's in meters. A meter is about 3 feet, so a long tapeworm, and made up of little segments, which if you break it in half, it's another one. And I mean, you can't kill it that way. So another method, so this zapper, it kills as it's going through. These little critters do not do well with electricity. Outside here, I have a zapper that's killing mosquitoes. Now, I'm all about love and compassion, but when it comes to these little deadly critters that are out there to kill you, like cryptosporidian or even things that are fungi or bacterial infections, you know, those are all things that God made for a reason, and they clean up the environment. So if your environment is unhealthy within your body, you're going to get more of these things in your body. So yes, of course, you want to be healthy, and guess what? They don't do well on a vegan, vegetarian diet. They need animal protein. You look through the internet, you'll find out these guys like garbage. They like filth. And so if you're going to eat filth and you're going to eat garbage, you're going to have these little parasites destroying your body, destroying your life, and affecting your desire for food. For example, they're going to want cheap junk foods, carbohydrates and sugars and oils and things like that. Another thing, so I'm in the Philippines, and something that is very, very effective and very readily available is papaya seeds. Okay? There's also black walnut hulls. So I want to explain. A seed is something that when you put it in the ground or put it in a septic tank or a pile of manure or in a very filthy, horribly disgusting and rotten, I'm talking about a place full of parasites and things like that, it has a barrier, it has something within it that will kill the parasites. It has something that will fight because it has to survive. It has to grow another plant. It has to come out of the ground, has to come out of the septic system, it has to come out of the garbage and whatever it is there to grow. And it cannot afford to be eaten or destroyed by parasites. So if you ingest that seed or eat that seed, that is going to give you a natural parasite. I mean, it's a deadly blow to the parasites. It's going to cleanse you and give you a natural cleansing of parasites, killing those parasites. Now, not just eating a couple seeds. You have to do a program, and that's what I'm going to tell you here. 15 days eating something, black walnut hull, pumpkin. You can get a variety. Wormwood, there's a number of herbs out there you can research. I like to mix them all together, you know, if you have them available. But here in the Philippines, papaya seeds are available. They taste very bitter, very sharp and pungent and even hot a little bit. Now there's two ways. Now I'm going to show you over here. Let's look at this papaya here. This is a beautiful papaya. Just look at this. This is just amazing, full of seeds. And they're just like a little pill. Just like a little pill here. Beautiful. Okay, so we had a little break in the film there, but I want to get back to this. These are beautiful little pills that I believe God made. And they're dropping on the floor here, but that's okay. And I'm just going to show you. I'm going to eat this. Now I'm just swallowing these, and that's one way to do it. But that's not going to kill parasites. That's going to get in your intestine, and that's actually, I'm going to pick up the seed and throw it away, that's actually going to be a colon cleanse. That's good for your intestine. It's going to loosen things up and move things through. Kind of like psyllium seeds. But if I want to kill parasites, I've got to chew these. Like this. And I'll tell you what. Ah! And I'm not making this up. It's hot, like cayenne. It's bitter. You have a rush of, whoo, goes to my brain. I feel like blood flowing. If that doesn't kill parasites, I don't know what will. I mean, that is really, really an amazing parasite formula. So, how do you intensify it? How do you make it better? Well, you really can't improve on God, but there are some ways to just intensify it a bit. People say juice is not natural, but you know, living in this world is not natural. Being here with the air conditioning, with this bright LED screen and all these lights, none of this is natural. This is not what's found out in nature. So sometimes we have to push the natural envelope a little bit in a direction of increasing those natural elements. Juicing is one way to do that. You're simply removing the fiber. And so you could put these in the juicer. You can blend them up in carrot juice and drink the carrot juice. If you don't like the taste, but you want to kill the parasites, simply get some capsules. Dry these in the sun, or dry them. It's better not to be in the direct sun, but to have a drying area or a sheet metal over, or just a dryer, indoor dryer or an oven. But basically you got to dry them, put them in a coffee grinder or a blender, and just grind them up and powder them. Put them in capsules and eat the capsules. Take the capsules. How many? You know, each person is different. You've got to try a little bit at a time. Take up 1 capsule, 2 capsules, see how you feel. One of the things that you'll notice when you're killing parasites with whatever formula it is, you're going to notice a little bit more yeast growing. It'll accumulate on your tongue. See, these the healthy probiotics actually help to keep your body in balance. And so when you take even a natural thing like this, you're going to kill some of the good and hopefully all of the bad. Sometimes you're going to kill all the good and the bad, and then you've got to rebuild those probiotics back after. It's almost like an antibiotic, but there's no major side effects. You see, antibiotics, a couple of the major players in the world, Louis Pasteur and Jonas Salk, those individuals, I'm going to lock this door just to make sure no one interrupts our recording here. Louis Pasteur and Jonas Salk, those were 2 major inventors in the world. And if you know about Louis Pasteur, Dr. Pasteur, he invented pasteurization, but also antibiotics. And it's been said by some leading experts who are experts in the history of his work that say that Pasteur was leaning in a direction completely opposite of his original beliefs, which is that the environment is all important and that you shouldn't go and think about eradicating everything and killing everything to solve problems, that we needed to change the environment so that the environment was healthy and those bad things would just simply go away. And it was explained like this in one meeting, as Louis Pasteur had tried to describe it. If you walk into a room and there were piles of cow manure, horse manure, dog manure, cat manure, whatever, but basically fecal matter in the room, you know what that would attract? Flies. Flies would come, they would lay eggs. It would also attract all kinds of bad critters that would be there to eat up that mess. Now, let's say you came in and saw those things in the room and you were horrified at all the flies and the worms, and so you went out and got some which means against, biotic, which came from the word bacteria, which really interprets life, anti-life, I'm pro-life, anti-life. You get something that's going to kill it, a pesticide, something like insecticide or whatever, an antibiotic. So let's say we eradicate all these flies and all the worms. Is the problem solved? Is it really solved? I would suggest that no, it's not. The fecal matter is still there. You know, the flies will come back eventually, except if the poison is so prolific, so strong, they're not going to come back. You can sterilize poop. One Japanese company, this has been out in the internet and has circulated and has been told. One company said, no, it's not true, it's just a rumor. Whether it's true or not, the theoretical idea, the theory, it is possible. And that is, there's a Japanese company that started making vegetarian or meats, maybe it's not vegetarian, they were making meat substitutes from human fecal matter. So that's ridiculous. But you can sterilize these things.